Okay, guys, this is part two of our our March kickoff for JAFRAbiz tips. I wanted to thank Andy for being my second pair of eyes or third pair of eyes or whatever it was for going over what I had listed. Jackie and I had chatted, but it's always good to have one other person that does it every day to kind of tell me I forgot something. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. The PDF that I'm going to share here, this will be uploaded for you guys, so you won't have to find it or whatnot. And it's also going to have the how to clear your cache piece that Jafra put together attached to the bottom of it. So it's one piece, one document PDF that you guys can share or print off or share with people who aren't online. So, all right, so let's get started. First of all, we want to talk about what's working now. What are the things that we figured out make sure this is recording. Sorry. Okay. I want to make sure that you guys have the little tips that will get you through the next few weeks or so as Jafra starts fixing things. And I actually got to delete something today because it's fixed. So that was pretty exciting. That's always a good thing. Okay. So first thing, is that we were jokingly, we said CC tab, and that is that you're using Google Chrome as your browser, number one, that you've cleared your cache every day, and that number three, that you're using the tab key, which is on, this is only for your computer. If you're on mobile or of any sort, cell phone, tablet, whatnot, you don't need a tab key because it doesn't exist. But on your computer, your tab key is very, very important. So let's go over that a little bit. When you're on Chrome, JAFRAbiz just works better on Chrome. There are some things you can do on JAFRAbiz that it doesn't really matter what you're in, but it's just easier to start with Chrome so that you don't get stuck. If you don't have Chrome on either your computer or your tablet, on your tablet it's going to be an app in your Play Store or your App Store, depending on what device you have. And if you're on a computer, you can just go to google.com, and in the search bar, you can type Chrome browser download, and it will pull up a place where you can download it to your computer. It's super simple. So for clearing your cache, you can do it two different ways. You can do the step-by-step that Jafra put out there, and I will add to the bottom of this PDF. However, if you don't want to deal with that, you can, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like, but you can go in and it's called an incognito, so it's like you're being sneaky. But it's a special screen that when you go in on Google Chrome, you're going to hold down your control key, shift, and then N all at the same time. And when you do that, I'm going to show you what it does. So if you're in Chrome, here I'm on JAFRAbiz. I'm sorry, not JAFRAbiz, I'm on Jafra Royalty. So if you hold down control, shift, N, a completely separate screen pops up that looks like this, and it says, you've gone incognito. So when you do this, the computer cannot cache or see your browsing history. So anything, it doesn't pick anything up from what you did before. And that's why we've asked you to clear your cache, because if you're anywhere else and you're not doing this incognito screen, and you go and you do something and Jafra has fixed it, but your computer still sees the old way, it won't update it to show you the fix. And that's why we keep saying clear your cache, clear your cache. But if you don't want to deal with that and you don't want to have to log into Facebook every day, all of that, you can do that incognito screen and you won't have to deal with that, and it will still show you all of the new things. So that's pretty cool. And that actually might save you guys a ton of annoyance. So thank you to Andy and Denise for that reminder. I did know about it, but I had not used it in a long time. So apparently I needed to be reminded. Denise pointed out that this also works well for searching for plane tickets and hotels and when you're traveling, because again, those sites remember what you did, and sometimes they won't show you the newest sales because they know you want to go anyway, so they've kind of got you hooked already, and they'll show you a higher price point than you could be paying. So that's kind of another reason that you might want to make this on a little sticky and tape it to the top of your monitor to remember how to go incognito. Just think about it as being sneaky online. So then the third thing we mentioned is the tab key. The tab key basically the reason this is important on JAFRAbiz, and this, I don't think this is going to change. This is something we're going to have to retrain our brain to use the tab key instead of the enter or clicking around. And the reason is when you're in, like, let's say you enter an item code, because you're going to shop by item code. You enter it, and when you tab, if there are any color choices or product choices, like let's say you're doing the Royal Jelly Ritual Kit, it will pop that option up, and it will automatically fill in and say, oh, you need to pick your colors or you need to pick your products. If you don't tab, it might do it, but it's not as easy or not as quick. And sometimes, if depending on your internet browser and your internet speed, it might be a little slow to have that window pop up. Just give it a second. So just be a little bit patient if you've got a little bit more slow internet. Again, the tab key does not apply to mobile devices, so that you can just click around or whatever you normally do online, because it's set up a little differently. It's also extremely important when you're doing your address and your credit cards, and tab is just important. Every time you type something into a box, tab out of that box. And I'll talk about that a little bit down the way here. Okay, this is what I got to delete. I was so excited, and I tested it 5 different ways. So when you're sharing your website, we were telling you that you had to, if you were before February 1st, you had to do all lowercase. If you were after February 1st, you sponsored after February 1st, you had to do it exactly however you signed up. That has been fixed, thank goodness. So now, no matter how you put your upper lowercase backwards, upside, okay, maybe not backwards and upside down, but it will go through and it'll go to your website. And that's an amazing, awesome fix, because that was so hard to get people to, and you know, a lot of us have capitals on our business cards, for instance. So that has been fixed as of this morning. Super exciting. So check that off your list of annoying things. Jafra's fixed it. Whoop, whoop. All right. Reports. We did a walkthrough of the most up-to-date information we had about reports, and it's still pretty correct from what we did. I put the link here. It's a live link in the PDF that you guys can go watch. It's on the YouTube channel already. I shared it in the groups. I shared it on WhatsApp, and they're there. The main thing to remember is they are focused right now on our system working correctly, us being able to order and get our products and have it shipped correctly, like the basic stuff to get us our products. Reports are not completely updated. Every day they get a little better. I'm seeing more and more things that are like, okay, that worked, that went in there, okay. But there are still some things that are not there. So month end for February, that kind of stuff, that's just not gonna be there yet. And we're just asking you guys be patient, but don't be afraid of them. You're not gonna break them. So go in, poke around in there, watch that video so you can kind of see some of the tips we found. Check it out, see what's there, kind of get used to how it flows. I know that some of it doesn't seem simple, but it looks like you have to go a little deeper to find information. But if you think about it, in our old report, we had to dig a lot for some of that information too. It wasn't always right up front, and some of it was. But the thing is we got used to it because we used it. So if you guys get into these reports and you start using them, you will see that you're actually able to see a lot more information than we could before. Like, for instance, one thing that I thought was super cool is if you have a manager, you can actually see her downline, which before I had the worst time. I had to go into like BIRs and like all this other place to find anybody that was not in my central branch. And now it's just, you can drop down menu it, you can search by name, you can filter by names, and there's all kinds of options. So, and it's very, very quick. So check it out. Don't be afraid of it. Just remember that it's still being updated. So we're asking for a little more patience. When you place orders, please, please, please use the tips that we're showing you today and order on JAFRAbiz. It literally is getting, every single day, it's getting easier and it's working more smoothly. So please do that instead of calling Jafra. They are overwhelmed with calls, and we want to save that time for people that are really stuck, or there's a big issue with something that they need to get figured out. But just try, go on JAFRAbiz. If you can't mess up your cart, when you add stuff to your cart, it's going to stay there even if you go somewhere else on your site and look at something else. So it's in that way, it's much easier than our last system, and it's really fun, and it's getting, like I said, it's getting better. So go check it out and try it. If you get stuck, ask questions in the groups or the chats. That's what we're here for. All right. Stay royal. Sign up new Stay Royal clients through preset package options in the special offers section. I'm going to show you this because this has been asked about 5 million times. Okay, maybe 4,963,000, but I'm still going to go show you. There, here. Sorry. Oh. Forgot I closed this when I went to my incognito tab. Jackie, do you have the chat? If there's anybody that I need to respond to or you need to stop me, please do. As you're going there in the chat, I now can see there's messages in there.
No, you're good.
Okay.
So far, I'll keep going. Do you know, Lori? One question since you're there for a second.
Yep.
The why when they go to pay for the order, it's using JAFRA credit, and she had already data entered the JAFRA a credit card instead.
Mm-hmm. I'll talk about that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. It's just a different, we have to think about it a little bit differently now and the way things work. And so, yeah, I'll comment on that. So under special offers for Stay Royal right now, you can see right here, this one, it doesn't really say which one it is. And so it might be kind of confusing, but if you hover over the image coming soon, a little tiny pop-up shows up and it tells you exactly which one it is. So this one happens to be the Balm E and C. And if you scroll down the page a little more, there's another one, and that one's the Cream ENC. And then there's two more right here, and then it goes on. So they're not all together, and they're not, but we know that it's 99, right? So over here on the left, you can filter by price. So if you click on the over 50 checkbox, it'll take out all the lipstick and everything else and only show you stuff that's over $50, which makes it easier when you're scrolling around looking for things. So that's where Stay Royal is right now. I have not seen a Stay Royal report yet. That's one of the reports that's not available. There's quite a few questions about Stay Royal, and we're passing on information as we get it. I know that it's being worked on. I know that, they have a whole list of things that they're trying to get through, but right now we're trying to get March offers up all the way. And so that will continue, but that's where we are with that. Okay. Addresses, credit cards, item codes, and quantities. And like it says here, this is where the tab key is very important. Every time you enter anything into a field, please use the tab key to move to the next field. It allows the system to validate that field. For instance, if you put a credit card number in and you don't tab out, you might not get the little X's that basically say it's a real credit card. If you're in a credit card field and you type the credit card number in and you tab out of it and you're sitting there and the card number is just sitting there and it's not doing anything, that means that they either gave you the wrong number or it's not a valid card. So the way you know it is if it's a valid card, it'll basically replace the first 12 numbers with X's or stars or whatever it is, and only leave the last 4. And then you just go to the next field, which, you tab down, you put the expiration date in and the CVV code. So that's why the tab key is important. Same with the address. If you, here was this one made me laugh. So when you put the address in, JAFRA has loaded USPS, Postal Service addresses, basically for the whole United States. However, if you're a fast typer like I am, you will never see them because the computer can't catch up. So I was talking to Denise and I was like, why am I not seeing these addresses that are supposed to all be there? I'm having to type everything in. And she goes, well, you're probably typing too fast. I was like, what? So if you're typing an address in, just start typing the number and getting, and then if you're not speed typing, you will see that they pop up and you can choose the one that matches. If you don't find the one that matches and there's nothing close and it's not accepting your address, the tip I would say is to go to USPS.com, which is United States Postal Service.com, and find out what their standardized address is. And the way you normally do that is you go to create a fake label, and you can see it'll automatically fill it in when you ask for a price, and it will change it to their validated address. A lot of times it has to do with 97106 is my zip code. And then it will want the last four. So like 1234 or 0592 or whatever it is that the United States Postal Service has assigned to that address. It'll want it to be in there in order to be a valid address. For the most part, if you're typing slowly enough, the addresses will pop in and you won't have too much of a problem. And again, this is getting easier and easier. We're having less and less issues with that. Let's see here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, yes. Again, if you're ordering by item code, make sure you tab out of that box. You do not need to add a 1. It automatically defaults to 1. I would suggest that if you want, let's say you want 5 of that offer, just leave it at 1. And after you add it to your cart, go into your cart and update the quantity there, just to make sure everything's in your cart correctly. You can add it in the first section there, but again, you'd want to tab out of that section to make sure it takes it. And I just find it's easier to do it all at once in my cart. Remember, it might take a couple of seconds for that pop-up to show up to give you your color choices. And if you're not if you're not in Google Chrome, it might not pop up at all. We found that with a couple of people who were having trouble with their orders. If they were not in Chrome, they weren't seeing the pop-up at all and they couldn't even make their choices. Okay, if your address, so under My Account, this is a really cool feature of the new site and I love it. So under My Account, which is all the way up at the top of your page, wait for it. So you have the regular My Business where you can go shop by item code, go shopping for everything else, go to your reports, all of that, which is right here on the top 4 in JAFRAbiz. But if you go up to the right by the shopping cart icon, all the way up on the top across from the logo, click on My Account, you can go in and have a default shipping and mailing and a default payment information. So if there's a card, you have a JAFRA Visa, a debit card through your bank or whatnot, and that's what you use when you make personal purchases or you're prepaying for someone, you can save that as your default billing information under payment and billing. And you can also have a default shipping address. So again, when you go in to place an order in your cart, that's going to show up as your default, and you won't have to enter it every single time and wait for it to validate and go through that whole process because it's going to be already in there. So I would highly suggest that you put one in there that you would use if you were going to use one, and that way, and it's going to take 12 of the digits out and all that, so it's not a security problem. JAFRA has super high security on this new server. They had a high security for credit cards on the old one, and the new one is even more so. So you can be confident that you're not going to have any stolen information or anything like that. But you can put that in there, and then you don't have to type it in every time if it's yours. But if your address is already in there as a default, you have to actually click on the little button to the left of your name when it's asking you where you want to ship your order. You have to select it, and then you'll get the red button that says next. So you have to actually pick an address. It won't just automatically send it to you or automatically charge you. So you have to choose. For right now, part of the reports that people are frustrated with, and I get it, but it's coming, the payment history is not there unless they've updated it in the last hour. The payment history is not there. So it is very important when you make a credit card payment and the confirmation pops up right there, and it doesn't pop up like a pop-up window like it did before. It just shows up when it has gone through. A little box pops up and says, you've made a payment. And then do you want to go next or add more payment? But on the left there, it's going to show you a confirmation number. And so far, they've all started with a 5. You want to write that confirmation number down so that if your client wants it or you need to track that payment later, you have kind of like proof that you have a payment and it was authorized. Let's see, no other record. Yeah, okay. So in your cart, you're going to make changes to the quantities of items. Remember when I said I like to add all as a 1 quantity and then change it? Whether you're going to change it while you're adding or changing it in your cart, you're going to select the number that's in there, delete that, and replace it with the quantity you want, whether it's 2, 5, 12, whatever. And then you need to, after you change all of the ones you want to change, you scroll down to the bottom and you click Update Cart. If you don't do that, it will not take. So make sure you change the quantity. And again, if you change a quantity, You need to tab out of that box so that it will recognize that and change your cost of the products and all of that stuff. So just tab is your friend. And then go down and you can update your cart. If you just want to take something out, there's a remove button. It's a link. Just click on remove and it's gone immediately. All right. And that's what it says right here. So if you're in your cart, if you're already in your cart or you go back to your cart and you want to add more items by item code, you don't have to go back up to My Business, add by shop by item code. Right above the where it's talking about your shopping cart, there's a little gray, it's the add to cart or add by item code is just grayed out. It looks like you can't click on it, but you actually can. So you just click on that and it will just open up the list for you to add more to your cart. The only time that doesn't apply, and we're getting into it now with the sponsoring tips, is if you are in the process of sponsoring someone and they want to also order at the same time, which we of course would love them to do. You have your first choice is, do you want to pack? And if you say no thanks or thanks or whatnot, it goes to the next choice, which is add your favorite products by item code. And it's going to ask you to enter your list by item code. If you leave that list and go to your cart and come back, you can't go back and add more problems or products. You can't shop and add to your cart in the sponsoring process once you leave your cart, or I'm sorry, once you go to your cart. So add all the items you want, and I would just leave the quantity at 1, add them all there, add to cart, then go to your cart and make your changes there. You can make changes to something that's already in the cart, but you cannot go back and forth during the sponsoring process because you're in the middle of sponsoring someone. Okay, so that's a really key piece that we don't want to forget. Okay. Also, for new consultants, the default password is no longer the last 4 of your SSN. That does not exist except for those of us who've been in for before February 1st. So now the password policy has changed. So if you forget the last 4 of your social or whatever other information you had in there, if you had a different password because you had changed it with JAFRA, if you forget that and you go to reset your password, the password policy is different now, and you must have a password between 6 and 15 characters, have at least 1 number, 1 letter, and you cannot repeat the same character more than 3 times in a row. Like you couldn't say, Lori 111 or whatever, okay? So that is a new, and it does pop up and tell you that, but that is a new process. So when the new consultant is signing up, you can't just go, oh, here's your number. Okay, it's the last 4 of your social. Go log in and place an order. It doesn't work that way. When you're finished sponsoring them, there's a link for them to set up their password. If they don't do it right then, when they go in to log in, I believe it still says forgot your password, and they would have to click on that and reset it. They were still going back and forth with that, and they were going to add some pop-ups so it was a little bit more clear. But just so you know, that's what it is now. And this has to do with the new security. They don't want everyone just being able to log in as anyone anytime because they happen to have the last 4 of their social. So it's a secure process. And if you go in and reset yours, same thing. You got to pick a new one that has those parameters. Okay, I know this is a ton of information, you guys, but that's the best thing about recording it because you can stop and pause and rewind and jump forward, and you can kind of see on the screen what we're doing. Okay, I know it's a lot, but now we're going into what do we want to be doing? Yes, we have the tips. We've got the things we can do on JAFRabiz, but what do we want to be doing to help the people who maybe aren't connected yet? So reach out to your consultants. Reach out to friend consultants, sister consultants, cousin consultants, whatever, grandmas, grandpas, whatever. Your consultants, anybody, help other leaders reach theirs if they don't know how to reach them. But get connected. Get them connected on Zoom. Have them join us. If they're not on social media, they can still be on Zoom. They can still be on WhatsApp. If they don't want to be on Facebook, okay, that's their choice. But there's other ways of connecting to us, which will take some of the pressure off of you to do all the explaining, okay? Because they have kind of at their fingertips, they can ask questions. Watch or read or learn how to clear your cache. Make it a habit if you don't want to do the incognito screen. To me, the incognito screen is the way to go because then you don't ever have to clear your cache again, except for I would suggest doing it periodically. But anyway, watch the JAFRabiz training modules with your team. Get on Zoom with them and watch them together. and talk about it, because then you can pause and go back and practice. Ask for help. It doesn't, all of us are learning. And if you find something really cool that's working for you that you haven't heard anybody share yet, share it. I mean, because we're all going to figure this out together. Post positive and encouraging things on the groups. Let's be a little more positive. I realize Jackie and I have heard a lot from you guys over the last few weeks. There is a ton that's been frustrating, and I'm right there with you. I am a manager. I'm a district manager too. I get it. I have the girls calling me too. I have, the things that have happened to you have happened to me. I get it. But there is also a lot of really cool things about this system, things that we've wanted for a really long time. So, and every single day, like we said, it's getting better and better. So yes, of course, if you're having a problem, ask a question. But try not to just post things that are just not questioned. They're just kind of, putting all that negativity out there. Try not to just do that, because we know there's frustration and problems, but if it's not something that's positive, encouraging, or a question that we can help you with, then it's really just going to be frustrating, and it might not be the right thing for the whole group. That make sense? Jackie, do you want to add to that at all?
Yeah, I was going to say there's a pro and a con to posting, and I'm glad you said that. Thank you. The con is, remember the audience you're posting to, right? So, because sometimes we're on the wrong group, we're posting somewhere on Facebook. If you see one of your consultants frustrated posting on Facebook, would you please reach out to her? Lori and I don't like to be the police, but we're trying to help keep it all positive, and we're not here to hide the problem in the room. That's not true at all. But we just know if you see a consultant who's on Facebook, they're pretty active out there or repetitive, please do, try to help them understand the etiquette and the purpose, or let them know this. Here's 2 key things. One, really important to post though, because I can tell you when that last day of the month, Laura and I were sitting on Zoom for hours and hours and wearing different hats. Thank you, Carolyn. But truly, the truth was, we would be, oh my gosh, this is showing up. I could go to marketing. Nobody was going to bed. And it was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's out. Hang on, let me see if I can fix it. That's what I mean. The gift of this technology now, you all do help us know when there is a glitch, okay? So note that if they're great, but please read the postings, because sometimes it's the 10 same postings and no one's reading. They just go in and quickly post. And we're like, okay, we got it, So we'll let you know if I say we're working on it, right? So Lori and I report that. But you have a new way. I really want you to know. Please, again, if it's particular to you, I see even some of that over here on the messages, you have to email me. I can't get you a general answer. If you had an order on the 14th and you don't have it, I need information. I can't answer you. And I don't want you texting Scott, Paulo, no more of that. This is now Jackie email only. Okay. It's the only option, not Lori, this is Jackie email only. That is my role. And I have a team that goes A to B to C to get it done. So you get a call to follow up. Okay. It's different this month. So nothing that we were doing before, but let me know if suddenly it was working and it's not. I already know things aren't loaded for March. I can't say that any more times today. We're getting there and we'll get it to work. You got to stick with us. Okay. So sorry. I want to come back to that. So thank you for the action.
Yeah. So the other thing is, I saw this question on our earlier recording, and they were asking, so rather than send it to Jafra Cares, you want it to go through you at this time?
If it's a particular thing that you need, kind of like, I need you to look at it now. We're kind of annoyed. We don't want you staying annoyed. Come to me then. I don't want 80,000 things. You're like, hey, I'm missing 2 items. Okay. That's Jafra Cares. They can do that. I'm not going to be order replacement, but absolutely. If, there's certainly like, oh my gosh, here's this order. Here's this, here's that. Everything's gone, blah, blah, blah. It's gone now. Everything might be in process right now because we're still finishing the month, fulfilling orders and getting new inventory. But if we're seeing something particular or you've got an escalation, send me what you've got. I'll look at it and go, okay, wait, you still need to wait it out. Or I forward it and we've got channels for every SD on what we're doing. Okay, makes sense? So, no, it's a great question. really look at it, is this urgent? Do I really need to have a team to put the fire out? Or can it go for a few days and I'll go to Jafra Cares?
Perfect.
Okay, so that's great. Thank you.
Wanted to make sure that was in here. And I will update this PDF to have Jackie's email and that instruction in here. So when you guys share that, that will be there as well. I'll update that before I load it. Okay, so the key is stay connected. Stay connected, stay connected. Use the opportunity videos and Monday evening Zoom opportunities. Bring your guests to sponsor. Bring new consultants. Bring your whole team. We can have 200 people online at the same time, guys. And to date, we have not done that. We would love to break that and make it so many people online that we could not even, we'd have to upgrade, okay? That's what we want. So the challenge is we need 200. All right, that's the challenge. Okay. Again, stay connected, be informed, get trained. Be a part of the Facebook groups and WhatsApp chats. WhatsApp is an app on your phone that also can be loaded on your computer once you have it on your phone. You can Google how to put WhatsApp on your computer. I did do some screenshotting on how to do that and a little video I could try to find again. It's somewhere in my YouTube area, but it's not hard and it's very cool because everything you're doing on your computer is automatically on your phone. So it's all synced, kind of like Facebook Messenger in that way. But this is where you can get quick answers. You don't have to wait for a phone call, email back if it's just something simple. Again, we're sharing tips with each other. These are the groups. Right now, I only put the consultant team group on here because leaders, you guys know we have a leader team group. If you don't know where it is, please message me. I will send you the link. But you have to be a JAFRA leader to be a part of that group. That is Jackie's area where we talk just to leaders on Facebook. So everyone, leaders and consultants, you need to be on the Amber Region Consultant Team group. That's where we post anything that is not specific only for leaders. If future managers can come to a meeting or there's any information that's open to everyone, it's all on the consultant team group, and we are not double posting anymore because that just became way too much for the people that were everywhere. So we're posting just in the consultant team group and on WhatsApp, unless again, it's only for leaders. These are live links that you can share or just send them, you send your girls this PDF. Again, they can just click on them from right inside the PDF. So it's JAFRA Amber Region Consultant Team. JAFRA Events Information and Training is my group where I post. That's the one that's bilingual. Somebody asked me about that the other day. That's not changing. I post all the brochures and everything in Spanish and English there. Reason I do that is because a lot of us have girls in our downline who speak Spanish. And that's a place where we can have everything available there. All the links I do, all the brochures are converted into photos for you guys to use to share. Same with the business meeting and all of that. All of those slides become photos, and they are in the photos and then albums area, and they're all labeled differently depending on what they are. JAFRA Beauty Insiders. This is JAFRA's corporate group for the consultants only. Again, you have to be, and all of these are consultant groups. There's no clients that are allowed in here. So if you add somebody to the group just because you're friends with them and I don't recognize them as a consultant, I will ask you if they are a consultant because we need to confirm, or I will talk to Jackie and find out if they are. It's the same with Beauty Insiders. That is also where they will stream live. Paulo does his stuff on JAFRA Royalty and will also stream onto that Facebook group. So if you guys are looking for, like when Scott did those trainings with Ivan on how to use JAFRAbiz, everyone was looking where the recording was. It was all there because they had live streamed on Facebook as well, and it was just sitting in that group. So join that group. They have great sharing and information there. My YouTube channel has become the Amber Region Training Channel, and that's where we load all of these recordings. The reason we chose YouTube is because everyone has the YouTube app on their phone almost across the boards. If they have a cell phone or a tablet, it's probably already on there. So when they click on it, or they click on it in a text, it's easy, it's not a huge file, and most people will open a YouTube file versus a random something they don't recognize like Zoom. WhatsApp Messenger, again, that's an app. It's a free app. YouTube is a free app. So if you want to join the leader team group or the Miami Movers chat, you need to download the free app and then text Jackie, and she can add you to those groups or send you a link to join. You can use it yourself to communicate one-on-one with someone or with your team. You can start a WhatsApp chat yourself. So you have a list of chats, so you just start a new one, a new group, and you can add your team or Jafra girlfriends or your district or whatever you want to do. As a side note, you can do free calls, video chats, and international calling on WhatsApp. So as long it runs off Wi-Fi. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, WhatsApp doesn't work very well. But that's great if you're doing any traveling internationally or you have family internationally. WhatsApp is great for that. Okay, JAFRaroyalty.com. Consultant Connection has moved. It's not Consultant Connection anymore. It's beautiful on Jafra Royalty. A lot of the things we looked for in Consultant Connection every month are now loaded on Jafra Royalty. And I'm going to show you that really quickly so you know where that is. So when you go back here, we'll go to the home page. Okay, when you go to JAFRaroyalty.com, this is where you can get information about national conference, summer trips, Circle of Excellence, recognition. That's what Jackie was talking about when she said Amber Region recognition. That's going to be there. Annual, monthly, sponsoring. Okay, that's all there, drop downs. Programs, all the new 2018 programs overview. This is where you're going to find Scott's videos that are all specific to the new bonuses, the CAR program. And these, again, are YouTube links. So when you share them, when you click on share up in the right corner of these videos, you can share those anywhere. And they're not so long that they're going to crash someone's email or crash their text or whatever. They're easy to share. And he's done a good job of really honing in on those specific things. So when they have questions about a certain program we have, this is a perfect way to show it to them. My Jafra story, this is where you're going to see the stories that Jackie showed you again in the earlier meeting, stories from other leaders and other consultants in Jafra. You have ambassadors, you have top leaders, and stories from women like you. So it can be anybody, and they're adding to those all the time. So, well, not right now, probably because they're kind of overwhelmed with the new stuff, but there's more and more showing up there. So check it out. Check out your sister's stories. And the best thing about Jafra Royalty is it's public. It's not private for consultants only. So you can share these stories with prospects. You can, hey, go check out our business. Go check out Jafra. This is a great place for you to do that. Trending. I haven't been there yet. I wouldn't go there. We'll just click on it for fun. I don't know what's here. Oh, what's happening now? Okay, that's right. Top stories, fast start. So that's kind of what, like a little, yeah, achievers and ladies in red and stuff. Okay, so beautiful. This is where all the stuff you're looking for is. New JAFRabiz training, my business training. These are all the modules, right? So like product training and all of that is here. Business, product training. This is also where you see any Jafra beautiful training live videos. You click on webinars and speakers, and here they are. On demand or live, which is like like today at 1 o'clock, the product training, that's going to be under live. If it's on demand, it's going to be here, and it's by date, what it is, and you just click on it and watch it. Very simple. Once you click on anything under the under beautiful, it takes you to beautiful, and now you're in here. So now you can navigate around by training, which is JAFRabiz business and product training, and it gets very specific: skincare, fragrance, makeup, etc. My library, this is where Consultant Connection ended up. So training library, if you hover over it, you have training for consultants, leaders only, parties, products, social media, sponsoring, and web. My business library is key tools for the month, and this is where I like to go because it's the most broad. This is where you're going to find the client brochure, the action, month at a glance, packs for new consultants, March order form. It doesn't have every single thing yet that Consultant Connection had, but it has a lot. So one of the cool things about this, again, this is a public site. So these links here on the right, if you click on, let's say, the client brochure, it's going to create a live link to the PDF. And when you click on copy, it's going to change it to say copied. And then you just paste it into any email or anything you want to do there. And that's going to be the live link to that PDF. I did speak with Andrea in marketing today, asking her about the e-brochures that you guys have been asking about on our websites. They are working on them. She's not sure yet exactly. They're hoping to get March up in the next week or so, but we're not sure because they have to live link it to all the products. And right now they're loading the products. So be a little bit patient on that. It is coming back, but right now it's just a little behind, just like, everything is kind of a process. They're checking off boxes as they go, but they will be back. So the only thing that's not listed under key tools for the month is your product catalog, full product, and that's going to be under product literature in that same library, just under product literature. This is also where the Stay Royal client flyer is. So if you just kind of come in here and look around, you're going to see more information. You've got business literature. This is where you're going to find the comp plan, Jafra Salutes You flyer, sponsoring conversation, business card downloading guide, policies and procedures. The business forms, that's going to be your direct deposit change form, agreement form, your official client order form that we had before, that's there under business forms. And then obviously compliance and legal, you're going to have those videos they did that they sent out a while back. The consultant agreement is here, policies and procedures. And some of these things you're going to find also in the training library. For instance, under consultants, you will still find the March brochure and the action. And this is actually where you find the business meeting. So the library is your friend. If you just tool around in there, you get used to it. This is also where you're going to find all the product pages. And by all, I mean all. They are putting more and more and more of them in here. They're all downloadable PDFs, or again, you can share a link. The cool thing with this is they also have the videos. So like the Royal Jelly brand video is here as an MP4. Again, you can link to it or download it and share it on your Jafra business page. So I could go on and on with this stuff, but this is where your tools are. This is where your library is. Beautiful is the new consultant connection. So as they add more and more to it, which will, I'm sure, be coming, this is going to be your hub for your business, for finding things that are downloadable, usable, shareable. Okay. I need water. Okay.
It's fun.
I know you did for 2 hours. I'm only at like 40 minutes. Okay. So that is your hub. And again, this is a live link. When you share it with your team, that will be a live link for them. So this is a big little key. If you're in any of our Facebook groups or on YouTube, but especially in our Facebook groups, there is a search box right at the kind of the top of all the text and stuff, near the top, right under the cover photo. On your phone, it's usually at the very, very top of the page you're on. And if you type anything, you type Lori, you're going to see every post and comment I've ever made. It's going to pop up. So please don't do that because your system will crash. No, I'm kidding. If you type calendar, if Jackie posted a calendar, it's going to pop up the last calendar plus all the other calendars she's ever loaded. Okay, if you type, like, it's a subject like Royal Jelly, it's going to pop up anyone who posted or commented about Royal Jelly and had that word in there, Royal Jelly. If you type in training or online or any word, you could type obviously you'd be getting everything we've ever posted, but you can search by any word, subject, name. So if you know that Carolyn posted something 2 weeks ago and you can't find it because there's been so many people chatting on there because we love each other so much that we've been talking and just sharing and asking questions, you could type Carolyn in the search box and it would pop up what she posted. And then you go, oh, there it is. And then you can save it and click on it. And just like you went there live. So that's a really cool tip that really helps when you're trying to find something that you know is in there somewhere, but you just can't find it. I think that's about it. So we're going to do, if you guys want to stay on, if you have questions, I will, we're going to open it, I think, to a few questions. And then if we find that it's not necessary, we won't post the question part. But for now, I wanted to make sure you guys were able to ask questions, or if you have suggestions about something else you'd like to see on the tips, please let me know. And I can update that and add it to my list.
Okay.
What do we got?
I'm going to give you a couple. So, and if you said them, forgive me because I was trying to get through the chat.
I got you.
Is the client's credit card saved?
No.
Exactly. Okay. Then, how do I update? You were showing some updates, but how do they update the email and phone? Is it in the same place you were?
Their own email and phone? Yes, my account is your happy place. So basically, when you go in to here and click on my account, it pops up this area. It shows this is where you're going to update your photo, and your photo shows on your website now. So update your headshot, and it will show. And that way, when people go to your website, they can make, oh yeah, that was her. I saw her. So it kind of is a way for them to confirm that you are who they thought you were. And it's also really, I think it's great to have your photo on things because it lets them see you and see a little bit of your personality coming through in your smile. And I would suggest smiling on those photos for your page. But this is where you change your email. This first line right here of your phone numbers is the one that will show up on your website. One thing we noticed, I can't remember who I was helping. I was helping somebody. She had put her home phone in here. Or no, I'm sorry. She had put her cell phone in because it's the only phone she has, but she listed it as her home phone because she didn't want people to know it was her cell phone. And it would not update on her website because the computer realized that it was actually a cell phone and not a home phone. I don't know how. But what we've realized is if we changed it to cell phone, saved it, and then it showed up on her website as a cell phone, she could come back in and then change it to home phone and it would accept it. Very strange. So, be a little creative. But this is where you would save that information and change it. That would also change it on your website. Shipping and mailing, you choose, like for me, I have a P.O. box for my mailing and I have a shipping address that I use for shipping. And again, this is your default. So these are the only, and then payment and billing, these are the only things that are saved permanently. Everything else, if you do anything else in your cart, it does not save it.
So Lori, her picture is showing up on JAFRAbiz, but it's not showing up on her website, why is that? Is it because before it was unstable, but now it's keeping it?
It should, yeah. If you clear your cache and you log back in and all that, it should fix it. If you have, some people have had sideways photos. All I can say with that is it could be something in the guts of the photo that you had on your computer. So try saving it as a different name. And then
size, JPEGs.
Size, exactly. Yeah. And then upload it again, save it. Yeah. Or take another picture.
It's true.
Yeah. And so you kind of have to mess with that a little bit. It's not Jafra so much as it is the coding of your image, which everything online has a code in the back end of it. So just kind of know that. Website management, this is where your link is. So if you're a new consultant and someone helped you sign up and they just kind of left the default as your name, this is where you find out what your link is. And if you change your link, you would do that. I'm going to totally forget this now. There is a way to change it. I think it's under general, actually. I'm going to go back because I don't want that sitting out there. Interesting. Okay, we're going to just breeze right over that. Yeah, the other thing is the website on-off button. You might check and make sure it's on. Just check. And then if you jump in there and your computer internet's a little slow, it might say off and then pop back to on. It is on, even if it does that. So account activity is where you're going to find your order history. This is orders, and then payments is what's not showing up right now, which is why I told you guys to get the ID number, but eventually you will list your payments here as well.
And where would your Stay Royal clients be? Is there a place for it even though it's not working, or did it not connect yet?
I have not seen anything at all yet.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
I am going to, if I had to wild guess, I would say they'd be in here somewhere.
Okay.
Probably under client orders, and maybe there'd be a code on the right that would say Stay Royal, or they might have another tab that says Stay Royal. It's just not here yet at all.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
Is there a difference between caches and deleting history?
That's a technical question.
Andy?
No, if you're looking for browser history, that's what it's looking for. A cache is your cookies and browser history. That's what that is. So no, I would say the answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, as far as what you guys...
You can delete your cache without deleting your browser history. It's two separate things. Yeah.
Right. But if we're saying cache, but somebody went and did deleting history, is that enough, or is cache a stronger deletion that matters most?
If somebody was actually going to their history and clicking on that page, it would make a difference. But if they're retyping in JAFRabiz, just clearing their cache is fine.
Oh, that's on my thing. I don't know how I breezed over that.
Without the W, or type in www. Yes.
So the reason that we type the www is that if you type just JAFRabiz.com, it tries to find the old server because your computer remembers the old server and it wants to go find it. So that's why, especially for people who don't go on JAFRabiz much and they're finally coming into place and order and they're like, it's not working. That's why. Have them type www. After a while, your computer will remember it and you won't have to worry about that. But for now, just be sure they do that in the beginning or in the front of it. And that is on that PDF that I showed you. I don't know how I breezed over it, but anyway.
And if somebody else has a problem, if they bookmark JAFRabiz on their favorites or their bookmark, they probably need, and it's giving them an error, they need to delete that bookmark and re-bookmark it because it's probably saved as the old one also, and it won't work.
True that.
And that also applies on your mobile phone. So remember how we did that JAFRabiz training and we're like, oh, everybody save it to your phone. Yeah, it saved the old one. So we need to delete that off your home screen and then save it again and go into www.jafrabiz.com and then it will be the right one.
And the website on a mobile looks a tad different than your personal website on your laptop, right?
Yes, it doesn't, like when you pull it up, your name, you have to click on contact to see your name, or if you tap on the three, it's called the hamburger, the three bars at the top, which is like the menu, your name shows at the bottom there. We're toying with asking them to put it somewhere at the top that says Lori's site or whatever, but so far the only way to see that right away is under contact or under the menu option. What else you got for me?
Almost done here. And let's see. So I have Linda Potter Lint. I've tried to receive emails and text box. Both boxes are checked that I want emails and text, but I'm not getting them. Go in, do the same thing. Actually, unclick it, clear it once, go back in and re-click, recheck. Try that. If that does not work, as we're getting this server set, absolutely, you can email Jafra Cares. If you've gone 6 months, it may take a week to get it, but try to do that and see if we can get that pushed forward for you. I also don't get texting. I was waiting for the server, and I'm like, I'll go back in and redo it again. If you've ever forwarded one of your emails or texts, do you know that shuts you out? It's almost like Jafra reads it as spam if you don't use the proper forward link. That's what I was doing. I was forwarding the email, and when I did that, it booted me out. So kind of a touchy thing. You have to use their forward me button only. So that could cause it. I'm just saying, I didn't know that till I did it. Somebody, Angie, I think you were asking, will they download the guides? I highly doubt it. We did not download the last Royal Jelly fragrance guides and color guides that I know of because they're really... I don't think they were downloadable because they're really...
They were. After a while.
Did they end up doing them?
Like 6 months or so before they did it. And
yeah, I'll ask it.
They're big, like wide files. They're not little single pages. And so they're kind of awkward.
They don't fit download as appropriate. And number two, they're really one of those, you got to see the color because it's true blue. So I know Deanna struggled with that in marketing. I'll push the question forward again. But they're not necessarily made to be that downloadable thing. So that's the purpose of it. So we'll push it forward, though. I'll always ask the question for sure.
At least the opportunity brochure would be good, though.
Yeah.
No, the opportunity, the hostess brochures, not right now. Hang on. We're getting there. We got to make sure everything's working. But for sure, to my knowledge, those are all coming. Absolutely.
And Pat Clover just asked about the My Jafra. I would just like to post this on my My Jafra went away almost 2 years ago, guys.
I know.
I know, but it's on, and everybody, I know, I'm just teasing you, but there's a lot of people who still don't know that because for some reason there was a disconnect there. Jafra is still forwarding that email or that site link to your new site. I tried it, and it worked from my old one. But I would just suggest that we all switch to the right one as you get new cards, as you get, you update your Facebook page, that kind of thing. Just switch it to Jafra.com. But yes, if someone gets an old one and they have the My Jafra, it's not going to mess them up. It will forward. Right. So if you're wondering, go type it in and forward and go to that incognito screen I showed you. And type it in there, and it will do what it's going to do. So that would tell you what someone else would see when they went in there.
I was just curious as to, that when you have so many of your business cards and things have to change all the time and people have that information out there.
Exactly. And I mean, I do too. I've got posts from a long time ago, and Google caches all that stuff anyway, speaking of caching. And they people will search for you and find some random post with the wrong link in it. But yes, Jafra does forward that to your new site. And the reason it doesn't mess up like we did when we tried to log in is because they don't have it cached on their system. They don't have the old server on their system because they're just finding you. So it will just forward to your new site, and that should not be a problem.
Okay. I also had another question. I don't know if you saw that earlier or not. Okay, so my other question was order. This was on February 28th. The order was helping my client, one of my customers. Shoot, I'm tired. One of my consultants, I'm sorry. And she got her order in, but next order that was going to go in, she wanted it separately, 2 different invoices. It popped up March 1st, midnight our time.
Okay, so on February 28th, we shared this on something. There was something with Jackie. Do you want to say this part, or I can? It doesn't matter. Okay, so basically, the new system switched over on Europe time because of the developer's mistake, and started making everything March 1st as of like 7 o'clock our time, which is about what you were doing. So it was telling people they only had 30% commission or 25% commission. Everybody was going, what is going on? So that was not a Jafra thing. That was a developer issue that it was coding that they did not put Pacific time. They put whatever Greenwich time or whatever the time is over there.
They're from Europe. Right. They used Europe time. I forgot we live in the U.S. and go by California time. Yeah.
Okay, so then I can, Jackie, send something to you with my consultant who didn't qualify because of the time zone thing that we thought. So,
did it update in and of itself? It hasn't updated as of yet.
I haven't looked today, but yesterday.
We went back and reset everything, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yes.
But send it to me anyway, so we've got it. If it fixes itself by Monday, oh well, so be it. I'd rather be a step ahead. So please do.
Okay. Thank you.
Jafra was scrambling too. They couldn't figure out what was going on because that was not their problem at all.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I thought I was in a dream or something.
No. Well, thank goodness this is where, I mean, in all God's honesty, the WhatsApps and everything. And I mean, us SDMs, we got all of us. We're nonstop, right? And we're like, something's going on, and it's repetitive. When 11 regions have it, they go running. So they were running, and Scott comes back and goes, you can't make this one up. And we're like, no! It's like, oh my gosh, I mean, we were crying. We were laughing so hard, like, you can't do that on top of everything else. I mean, we were laughing like, they're like, programmers are so smart, but really? Like, it was so like human non-thinking. It was like, oh, rock star. But we were trying to go backwards and re-update everybody while it was still happening. That's why things right now, there's just a lot of those little innuendos that happen off that weird thing that if it's stuck, it's because we're loading so much closing end, month end, and undoing 8 hours of bad time zoning. Right. So it's all those things. That's why I'm like, typically, if I could say it, hang till Monday and watch, because I'm assuming through the weekend we can get everything back in order. And it's not been bad. It's just all these little things, right? But in the meantime, I'd rather have good service and over service than under service when it's a particular thing like that. So because it's just for that person that we know now she's missing that. If it's still showing that way. If it's processing, don't do it yet because we're still processing.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you
process means processing.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And when you do send Jackie that email, make sure, because I know this was on the other recording, but make sure that you send the consultant ID, if it's your downline, your name, your consultant ID, like any information that's going to streamline that process, because if they have to go search and find and figure out what you're asking about, it's going to take a lot longer. And if you have all the numbers and the order numbers and the, you know, all of that there, it's going to be a lot faster fix.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyhow, breathe, take in what you needed from today, pick your favorite parts and piece it all together. Thank you, Lori, for all of that. Thank you all, because you do really help us. And I will honestly charge you forward in closing. I mean, what Lori and I saw happening live on Zoom, empowering people. I mean, I'd be on a phone call. She's on Zoom. I'm like, are you still in Zoom? We brought women to a room. Some they didn't even know what Zoom was. And I'm like, just put it in your computer right now. And I'll meet you there. I'm in the car and I'm running to get into my computer. And to watch people who have never, they never had been on Zoom. They didn't even know what we were talking about. They didn't even know they had a camera until they were on Zoom. And they're like, oh, I have a camera. We had the coolest experiences. And that woman, the one, Eldora, that I can think of, who came on, she was as uninformed on how to use the internet. She was trying to go on through a search bar because we said, you don't have Chrome. She's like, yeah, I do. And she's in there. We're like, you're in a search bar. You're not even on Chrome because there's no 3 dots. We watched her and we made her stay. That's okay. We made her stay. You're going to do this. And we sat there. We had 3-4 people lined up waiting in the queue. We're like, no, she's going to do it. And she did her whole order. That woman is forever changed. She is now Miss IT department, because I'm telling you, she was like, I did Zoom. Oh my gosh, I have a camera. Oh my gosh, I have Chrome now. Oh my gosh, I know what a search bar is. I know what a cache is on. I did my order. Oh my gosh. That is what I want you to do with your team. Stay off the phone. Get them using this amazing system. It's going to have kinks for now, but it's not going to have kinks in the very near future. And this thing's going to be a rocket ship. So it's Amazon Prime for sure when we get through all of this loading. So again, do it yourself. Don't depend on Lori, myself. Try it. It won't kill you. If you get stuck, we're here. Okay. But I want you to be empowering your team. We didn't know it when we started either. But the more you do it, the more you figure it out. And they're like, this is so cool. And now they can use it for their family and their life. I have more people using Zoom and WhatsApp in their lifestyles now. And it's awesome and it's free. So our goal is to give you models of empowering things to do that can make a difference with other women. And that is so cool to see.
So I need to show you this 3 dots thing, because if you don't have these 3 dots, you are not in Chrome. You are in a search bar and it will not work. So
and we saw this all the time. Yes. Lori and I were CC, tab, and 3 dots. We said the same thing to every human being.
But if somebody has an older version of Chrome, they have got 3 bars and not 3 dots. So I've got an older version of Chrome, but I've got 3 bars, not 3 dots.
Have them update. The key is update because you want that anyway.
Well, that's fine, but I don't have any trouble with it. So
all the way over from your address bar when you're going to clear your cache, and this is where everybody gets stuck. You go all the way across, and there's 3 little dots in a line up and down. And when you click on that, you're going to see your settings, and you can go from there. Like I said, we have screenshots for you guys. But if they don't see these dots over here, the lines, they are not in Chrome. They're in a search bar, or they're in something else that looks like maybe Chrome, but it's not actually Chrome. The other thing I will quickly say about Zoom, this was the coolest piece that Jackie was talking about, is Eldora shared her screen. So we showed her how to share her screen, and we watched her do her order so we could see what she was doing and go, oh no, if you do this, then that works. And she's, oh, it works, you know? So it's them being able to share their screen. That, I mean, think about the power of them figuring out not only JAFRabiz, but Zoom and how to share and how to go back and forth. And it was just a blast. We were having so much fun.
So much
introducing all these women who had just hardly got online, you know, and then they were just, she rocked it. She did the whole order herself. She just kind of asked a couple of questions. And at the end of it, she was so just relieved and excited that she got her order in and did it all herself. So it was awesome. So empower your girls.
Okay, it's time to go. Deanna's on the next one. Oh my gosh, it's movie day. Okay, so we will fix and repair our little workbooks for you. We'll get them out to you on Facebook, and have an amazing weekend. If you want to join us Monday for networking and sharing, we'll see you there, and we'll review everything in a simple way Monday for 1 hour. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lori. Bye.
Bye.